Hey, Scott Austin here. In this video, I'm going to walk through the process on how to back up a theme to GitHub for version control reasons. Now, there is built-in connection between the Shopify admin and GitHub, and you can see that here. I'm on online store themes, and right here it says connect to GitHub, and we don't use that at Jade Puma. And the reason for that is if you're going to connect your theme that way, then everybody editing the theme and stuff like that has to have access to GitHub. And a lot of app developers, customer support teams are used to like creating a copy of the theme and working on that offline version and pushing it live. And store staff don't know how to use GitHub. So we just use GitHub internally at Jade Puma, but don't require our clients to use it or the different app support teams to use it. So here's the process we go through to connect all that. So what you're going to need is access to your Shopify admin for the store that we're talking about. You're going to need access to the Jade Puma organization in GitHub, and you're also going to need GitHub desktop installed on your local computer. Because what we're doing here is Shopify admin, right? It's a cloud service, it's a SaaS service. It's storing the theme in the cloud. We're actually going to download that locally to our computer through an app called ThemeKit, which I'll show you in a second. And then from ThemeKit download, then we're going to upload it back into GitHub using GitHub Desktop, and that'll put it into GitHub. So we go from cloud to local, back up to cloud is the way it works, because we're not doing that direct connection like I talked about already. So here's the steps to go through. The first thing you want to do is go to GitHub in the cloud and create a repository under the Jade Puma organization. So here I am in the Jade Puma organization, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to say new, and the GitHub repo I'm going to be making right now is for Apex Chassis Wholesale. So I'm just going to type in Apex Chassis Wholesale. And what I like to do under the description is actually put the My Shopify URL for that website. We keep all of our repos private. We don't need to add any options. So all we're doing right now is create a repo, and it's going to be a blank repo in the GitHub on the cloud. So that's now done. And then what we're going to do is in GitHub Desktop, we're going to go to File, and we're going to say Clone Repository. So you're already logged into your GitHub Desktop with your GitHub account, which already has access to the Jade Puma organization. So what we should be able to do then is just type in Apex, and you can see here there's an Apex Chassis and an Apex Chassis Wholesale. So that's the one I just created. I'm going to clone that. It's going to put it in the default folders. So now we've got that GitHub empty repo from the cloud now downloading and syncing with our local repository. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my local file explorer, into my GitHub folder, and now I should see the Apex Chassis Wholesale folder, and it's empty. If I click on it, there's nothing in it, because remember that's an empty repo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Apex Chassis, or you can go into any client folder. It doesn't have to be the same name, right? I'm going to copy the live folder, and I'm going to go into Wholesale and paste the live folder. And then I'm going to delete a lot of the content in there, as you'll see here in a moment. So all I really want from that is I want to create a subfolder called live, and I want to add 2 files to that. So I'm going to select all the folders in that live folder, all the subfolders, and delete them. So what I'm doing is I'm copying the live folder and these 2 files, command line, which is just a shortcut to the command line interface, and then config.yaml. And it'll take a second here, I guess, for it to finish recycling all those items. And then while that's going on, what we can do is we can go back to our GitHub desktop, right? And now because it's watching that Apex Chassis Wholesale folder, the local folder, and it sees the changes of those two files that we added to it. So now I'm just going to say theme kit settings. And I'm going to commit that to main. And then I'm going to publish that branch. And once that's done, I like to go into GitHub on the cloud and make sure, so I'm going to refresh the page, and now I can see there's the live folder. So I know that my local GitHub repo for Apex Wholesale is syncing up to the cloud version. So I'm going to delete or just close out that tab. I don't need to check that anymore. I'm confident that that connection's working. So now what we've done is we've connected our local repository to GitHub. And now we're going to connect our Shopify to our local also. So the first thing we're going to do is in the Shopify admin for the stores, we're going to go into apps and we're going to customize your store, which just opens up the app marketplace. And we're going to search for an app called ThemeKit. And this app is right here. It's made by Shopify. We're going to add that to our store. And what ThemeKit will do is it'll give us permissions to access the Shopify API to be able to download and upload theme files as needed. So we're going to take the settings and install the app. So the app is now installed. You can see that by going back to apps, ThemeKit access. I'm going to go back into the app itself, and I'm going to click on that create ThemeKit password. And for developer name, I'm just going to put Jade Puma. I'm going to put my email in here. And create password. And what it's going to do is it's going to send me an email, which isn't in my inbox yet, but should be there soon. Yep, there it is. So if I go into Gmail here, you'll see that it has sent me this, get ThemeKit password. So I'm going to click on that link in the email. It's going to open up that app inside of the store. I'm going to say show password. So I need to copy this password, and I'm going to show you where we're going to put it. Let's go back to on our local desktop, right? We're in File Explorer. We're in the folder that we created, the live folder. And remember that file config.yaml. So I'm going to double click on that. It's going to open, this is a text file. It's going to open it up in Sublime because I've got Sublime registered to open YAML files by default. And what you can see is there's three things we need to change here. The first one is going to be the password. The second one is the theme ID. And the third one is the store domain. So let's get that password first. That was under right here. So I got to copy the password. And you can see it starts with SHPTKA. Going to go back to Sublime. Paste in the password. See, it's got that new prefix there. So I've got that stored in there. The next thing I want is the store myshopify.com URL. So let's just go back here into our Shopify admin and grab just the URL part there, or the domain part. Put that back into our YAML file. And then the last one is the theme ID. And the theme ID, remember, right now we're using the live theme, is the one we want to be syncing up on. You can have more than one theme that you're syncing through this process. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Online Store and just click on Edit Code for the live theme. And the theme ID is right here in the URL. So just going to double click it, copy that, and then paste that back in here. And now I'm going to save this file, close it out. So now we've updated our settings inside of our local file, the config YAML. So now the next step is going to be to download that theme from Shopify into our local repository. So here is the command line interface, just a shortcut. It opens up the command line interface in the current folder, and when I type in the command theme, and this assumes that you've got ThemeKit installed on your local computer, which is a separate process I assume you've already done. If I do theme download, you'll see it's going to start kicking off the download process, and over here you can see folders starting to be downloaded, and there's files inside of those folders. So it's going to download a total of 318 folders. So we're going to let that download for a moment. And then once it's done downloading, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our GitHub, and you can see the GitHub desktop is seeing all those changes automatically dropping into that folder. And what you want to do is wait until the command line interface has done its full download. And the first time it does, it takes a long time. Later on, when you're just updating or changing 2 or 3 files out, it's a really quick and easy process. But the first time does take a bit of time to download all the different files. And I think that's because there's the throttling at the Shopify API level that's going on here. And you'll notice that more files are being downloaded here, but this count, this 87 change files, is not updating automatically. So what you have to do is you click on this changes here, and you'll see it's going to change from 87 to now 171. I click on it again, 178. So many times what I do is when I start this process like we're doing right now, and I'm waiting for it to go, I go and look at it, and then I commit all those changes, but I didn't basically refresh the file count by clicking on that changes thing. So then I have to do it 2 times instead of 1 time. I've got Cricket sitting on my lap, if you can hear her. She's snoring right now. She's quite comfortable. So what's going to happen when this all downloads, so we've downloaded it from Shopify to the local repository, and then we're going to sync it back up to GitHub, right? So we'll do that inside of GitHub Desktop. And there you can see it's downloaded it all, right? If I just run that theme download command again, it'll see that, hey, you've got all the files downloaded, no changes, boom, nice, quick, and easy process. So, and then we'll just show you inside of the files here, right? So if we look inside the snippets folder, for example, now all those different theme files are in there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click that little changes up here, and now it shows 300 plus files. And we're going to say initial theme commit. Commit that to GitHub. And then publish it or push it. And now all those changes are in our GitHub repo, and now we're doing good version control in our theme. So that is how you connect Shopify to GitHub, or a Shopify theme to a GitHub repo using ThemeKit and GitHub Desktop. Thanks for watching.